An absurd amount of hate on the internet, and I didn't know why, so I did some researching, and here are 5 reasons why everyone hates Amy Schumer. First, a lot of people call her comedy racist. It relies heavily on poking at race and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. She's said jokes in the past like, quote, "Nothing works 100% of the time except Mexicans, and I used to prefer Hispanic guys, but now I prefer consensual." Number 2 is that she's infamously known for and has been caught stealing more jokes than any other comedian. Most recently at the Oscars, she was caught stealing jokes from Twitter. And there's 30-minute compilations of her ripping off other comedians' jokes on YouTube. 3 is her unfunny and disrespectful jokes. People think her comedy is unevolved and focuses on being crude, making too many jokes about her lady parts or bodily functions, or relies on shock factor.
Sorry for the loss of your friend Ryan Dunn. I know you must have been thinking it could have been me, and I know we were all thinking, why wasn't it?
4th is that she literally admitted to SAing 2 different guys. First is a guy that she described as so drunk that he's barely conscious enough to function his body to do the deed, but they did anyway. Second is a cab driver where she literally admitted to SAing him, and she took his hand and put it where he didn't want it. I'm about to say the last one, but before I do, make sure you follow so you finally know why all these hated celebrities are so hated, and request any celebrity who you would like to see next. 5th is her arrogance and ungratefulness. People don't like how she thinks she's more established than she is because she compares herself to Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, and she turned down an $11 million Netflix deal because they weren't paying her enough, and apparently her arrogance and bad attitude.
Hello.
How are you guys?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. It's so good to see you guys.
Hey, you too. Do you think that all jokes in some way are a copy of something that someone said before?
No.
Blacking out is when you drink so much that your brain goes to sleep, but your body gets all Eye of the Tiger and Soldiers On.
You don't?
I don't. No, I don't.
And I black out when I drink. Isn't that the worst? No, your mind goes to sleep, but your body's like, tonight is my night.
What do you think about this current thing that they said that you've taken from other people's jokes?
I would never take anyone's joke.
It dawned on me that I don't see it in colors. I don't. In high school, I went out with this Chinese girl for a while once. I didn't even know she was Chinese. I thought, I don't know, maybe really tired, you know? No, seriously, I felt bad. I kept bringing her home early every night. I said, you get a little sleep, we'll do this again another time. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
I couldn't be less racist. I mean it. I was at a party 2 weeks ago in LA, and who walks in but Michelle Kwan? And out of nowhere, she tells me that Oliver Stone, you know, the director, she's like, he has this huge Asian fetish, and I find it totally offensive. And I'm like, why, Kwan? That sounds awesome, you know? And she's like, well, I'm offended because I'm Asian. And I was just like, well, I'm sorry, but I didn't even notice that. I thought you were just like really tired.
Welcome back to me sitting in my car talking about celebrities that I hate. Today, I'm going to be talking about Amy Schumer. I'm going to be honest, at first I didn't actually hate her. I just wasn't a fan because I don't think she's funny. But the more I looked into her, the more things I found to hate about her. First off, she's been accused on many occasions of stealing jokes from other comedians. If it had happened once or twice, I'd give her the benefit of the doubt and assume it was just a case of 2 people coincidentally thinking the same thing. But there are entire compilations of her stealing jokes, sometimes verbatim. The funniest example of this was the time she went on the Ellen DeGeneres show and told a joke that Ellen herself had told years earlier. On a much more serious note, she once told a story about having sex with a man who was severely intoxicated as if it were a joke. She laughed about how the man was so severely intoxicated that he was falling asleep during their encounter. Imagine if the tables were turned and a man was making jokes about how he took home a woman so drunk she was falling asleep. You wouldn't call it a joke.
I don't find you funny.
A lot of people believe that Amy Schumer was sticking up for Amber Heard after the trial. Almost immediately after the verdict, Amy posted on Instagram a quote that goes, "Any woman who chooses to behave like a full human being should be warned that the armies of the status quo will treat her as something of a dirty joke. She will need her sisterhood."
I performed in a lot of private schools, I was telling you, a lot of religious schools. I wonder what goes on with religion. I never knew what to believe with that. I don't ever know what the Virgin Mary story, you know what I mean? Did God and Virgin Mary make Jesus? And I think the reason we don't know on that is because we didn't have Maury Povich back then doing the paternity test. And that would have been a fantastic episode, wouldn't it? Just Maury Povich and Virgin Mary sitting there.
I think that would be the best ever Maury Povich baby daddy show. Don't you? Can you imagine how amazing that would be? I think he can do it. He's got the power. Like, half the crowd would be priests, half rabbis, and the panel is Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
I just gave you opportunity of a lifetime, brother. And I'd be damned I'd be disrespected like this.
nailed it. Number one reason why I hate her. I mean, among other things, this started it.
Here's Steve-O, great try. Steve-O! But I truly am, no joke, sorry for the loss of your friend Ryan Dunn. I know you must have been thinking it could have been me, and I know we were all thinking, why wasn't it? Thank you.
Amy Schumer is still triggered by that slap.
So we understand that everybody has triggers and traumas, but do we know we can handle them shits in the privacy of our own psychiatrists and psychologists and the people who care about us? We don't have to come to social media and let everybody know things that trigger us, because apparently Amy Schumer is triggered by Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. If that triggers you, you have to deal with you getting the shit smacked out of you. Because let me tell you something. I don't like people yelling at me. But every time somebody yells at me, I can't go into panic mode. I have to find something to cope with the motherfucker yelling at me. The world is not responsible for my triggers and traumas. And if you go to social media to let us know what your triggers and traumas are, they're going to tear your ass up. So I suggest that you handle your traumas and your triggers in the privacy of your own psychiatrist, psychologist, or your motherfucking therapist, or that medication that they be giving some of y'all. Nothing against medication, but we don't have to come to social media to let people know everything that's going on with us.
And I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, what can I even say about him? He's done so much to fight climate change and leave behind a cleaner, greener planet for his girlfriends.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this. I'm continuing on with my celebs that are the worst series. So this one was suggested to me. If you have somebody you would like to see a compilation on, please drop me a note in the comments below and I will check that out and try to get one together. So thanks so much for watching. Do check out my Patreon. I'm patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. And I'm doing a breakdown of Sex and the City. You can check that out over there. Or you can further support the show by hitting the thank you button. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.